Let me put you on game. Don't listen to people who lose or you'll do the same. Stop talking to people who don't give a f*** what you saying. Stop spending your money on weed, go hop on a plane. Stop pointing the finger.
Welcome back to another episode of the Pursuit of Wealth podcast. Today we have some awesome guests. You guys are our first duo guests. We've got Shaneka and her husband Trey with us. And they are the co-founders of Hype Girl Studios here in Idaho Falls. So we're super excited to hear you guys' story. As a couple, you guys are our first couple owners of a business.
Which is fun. I mean, for everybody else, but not. I'm just kidding.
You're like, hey,
no, we work well together. Some days, you know, he doesn't let me buy things I want. And, you know, it's very upsetting. But it's
I understand that. And yes, stick your ground. I have to do that with my wife as well.
Sometimes I lose. Most of the time I lose.
It's true.
Happy wife, happy life. It's kind of a hard dilemma.
Exactly.
So did you guys, where did life start for you guys? You guys grew up here in Idaho Falls? Are you guys both locals?
Yeah, we both grew up in Moreland, Idaho, which is Blackfoot, if you don't know.
Moreland.
Yeah. The farm town.
Yeah.
We're the farm kids. We grew up in the Snake River area, and we went to school together and became friends.
So you guys have known each other. How long have you guys known each other?
Since we were 13.
Yeah, probably like 12, 13, somewhere
13
around there.
years old.
7th grade.
Yeah, 7th grade.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we went on our first date, was homecoming.
Freshman year?
Junior year.
Okay.
And then ever since then, our moms were planning our wedding from 17 years old. So.
Gotta love it. The planned marriage.
This is an arranged marriage. We really don't like each other at all, actually.
That's crazy. You guys have known each other since you were like 12 years old.
Yeah.
And then you started dating juniors in high school.
Not dating. We were just friends because listen, you're annoying when you're in high school, okay?
Yeah. Hey,
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I understand why he was like, yeah, I'm not going to be your boyfriend because I was crazy.
He's like, she's cute, but she's
she's a little psycho. So we'll just stay away, which totally understandable. But he went on a mission, came back, and we dated for a year and a half.
Yeah, like a year and a half.
Took that long.
Wow.
Just kidding. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then we got married in 2016. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where'd you go on your mission?
Colorado. Denver.
Colorado. Okay, cool. And what was that experience like growing up was that like your first time going into a bigger city from Idaho?
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't done a lot of traveling up until that point. Even though that's not that far.
Yeah.
Denver's not far at all. But that was like my first real exposure to somewhere that was like an actual big city.
Yeah.
Because Salt Lake doesn't count. Right?
Yeah, it's like that's where we go for
like a lot of people there, but it's not a big city. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Was any cool experiences that you did there? Like how was it going from being small town Moreland, Idaho to I've had other missionaries like on the podcast or people that have gone on missions, and it's always eye-opening experience because we're pretty sheltered here.
Yeah.
In Idaho. You know, and going to a place in like even Denver, were you kind of like in the city of Denver or like the outskirts of Denver?
Yeah, it was south part of Denver.
Okay.
And then all of northwest Colorado. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
kind of all over the place, which I think helped because for a large portion of the time I wasn't even in Denver. I was in smaller towns anyway. So it never really felt it wasn't like too much of a culture shock for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've talked to like some missionaries have gone to like, you know, Mexico or like some pretty rural areas, and it was like, yeah, you're sleeping on like dirt floors, and so Colorado's probably not as bad, you know.
I just slept in a trailer.
Yeah, just regular stuff.
That's just regular stuff. I was like,
so yeah,
that's
that's what we did here in Moreland anyway too. So you got back from your mission, you guys started dating, and then you guys were married a year and a half later, 2 years later?
Yeah, we've been married for 7 years.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've been married for 7 years.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's super cool. I was about to call you guys, you know, junior high sweethearts, but I guess, you know.
We're not sweethearts.
Yeah,
We could have been.
Could have been junior.
But-
And what a great story that would have been, junior high sweethearts.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to get his crap together. I don't know.
So did you guys, after getting married, did you guys go to school? And if so, like, what did you guys study?
So I finished school maybe a year before we got married, I believe.
Yeah, that's
I wrapped it up a year before we got married. I went into elementary ed.
Okay. What inspired that?
Listen, not that I regret going into elementary ed, but I kind of regret going into elementary ed just because a lot of people would tell me, oh my gosh, you're so good with kids.
Yeah.
Like you should teach. And at the time I was only like coaching dance. So I'm like, you know what? I'm really good with kids. Like I should teach. And I hated it. So I regret it, but don't regret it. Cause I mean, I probably wouldn't have been where I am like right now, honestly. But yeah, I did the thing.
You stuck it out.
I stuck it out, did a year of teaching. I was like, I don't like kids.
Where did you start teaching at?
So I taught at a charter school. It was a Montessori school. And there's 3 different grades in the classroom. Okay. And so it was me and another teacher, and we would switch off on, days that we would teach, or I would just be over the younger kids most of the time. And he would be over the older kids. So it was just really hard because you have 2 different teaching styles. Yeah. And, like it was just different. Yeah. He was very old school and I was not. So
got it.
It's very different in trying to find like the common ground between what we both agree on was hard too. But I did it. It was fun. Most of the kids loved me. Yeah. Which was great. But I was like, oh, this just doesn't feel right.
Right. Like what you should be doing. Mm-hmm. And bless all the teachers out there.
Yes, no,
like
seriously.
The kindergarten and the younger.
My gosh, I'm like kudos. Like honestly, like I like love the teachers that can teach. I think it's so awesome, and I'm so happy that they're in that profession. It just wasn't for me, but literally, like I can't imagine somebody dealing with our Stella right now. Yeah, she's like, a psychopath.
I love kids, but I'm like, I cannot imagine. Yeah, that's a hard job.
It's a hard job.
It's needed. So I'm glad that people are able to do that and stuff.
No, it's so needed. But yeah, I think I went into something that everybody thought I should have been going into, and wasn't really listening to my heart and what I wanted to do.
That's an interesting thought too, because for kids, like you tell your kids that they're good at something or they're they should be doing something, and then they kind of like just pursue that, and so as individuals, like we might be good at, maybe I don't even know, maybe I'm good at doing something on the computer. But it doesn't mean like I need to pursue something in that field if that's not what I want to do,
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, 1,000%. And I think even if I went into something different and then like still taught dance on the side, like that could have been my thing of like, oh, you're so good with kids, like you should continue to do that. But instead I went a different route, which is fine. Yeah. It's totally fine. But yeah, you just have to be careful about what you put into your kids' heads, because like they want to make you proud. Oh yeah. So if you put that into their heads, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I have to do this because my parents said so. Like I have to do this. This is what I'm good at. This is my journey. So just be careful.
I attended this conference last week in Phoenix, and they had brought in like a mindset coach to talk to us, and he's like the mindset coach that like they would fly out to like Jake Paul. So Jake Paul had a fight coming up, broke up with his girlfriend. They fly this guy out to get him back in the right mindset to get ready for his fight. And he had some really great insights, but one of them was like, he was talking like, how many of you guys have kids? And people raise their hand, and they're like, when's the last time you told your kids you're proud of them? And this guy, like, I told her, the other day, and he's like, well, what was it for? And he's like, oh, cause she like, talked to her friend about it, like something that was, she had a hard conversation with her friend so that they were on good terms. He's like, oh, and he's like, what did you say to her? And he said, I'm proud of you for resolving that issue with your friends. And he's like, don't ever say that again to her. And
oh my gosh.
Everybody's like, what? And he's like, yeah, don't ever say you're proud of your daughter. Because then she is dependent on you for like,
right, for that approval.
Yeah. And he's like, you say, you should be proud of yourself. Mm-hmm. Figuring out that situation with
which is a good one. Thank you for bringing that up, because I would have been like, Stella, so proud of you for everything you do.
Yeah, it's so, parenting is one of the hardest things. And we just had our first, and so I took that. I'm like, man, I mean, she's only one, so hopefully she hasn't. I haven't corrupted too much yet.
Anthony.
But I've said I'm proud of you, but now like every time she walks, I'm like,
I'm proud that you did that.
You did that. You should be proud of yourself. Yeah, so I'm already starting the framing of that.
I think that's awesome, because I feel like like I said, like you just want to make whoever's around you proud. So
Yeah.
you want to make sure you're doing good. But I also want Stella to be like, I want her to know that she can do anything.
Yeah.
And she's going to be good at one thing, but you can try all the things. And
Yeah.
if you're good at all those things, that's great too. But I'm not going to be the one to be like,
You
hey,
should.
you need to do this. This is what you're actually good at.
Yeah, 100%. I love that.
Yeah, I feel like we talk about this a lot too, but I feel like that's just beneficial for the kids as well, in the sense of setting them up to be able to explore what they're interested in.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if they're exploring what they're interested in at early age, kind of learn that that's important. That's kind of setting themselves up to maybe be a little bit more successful, because they'll have a better idea of what they want to do. Won't be as concerned about what other people think.
But she's dancing whether she likes it or not.
I give her freedom of choice,
I
but
was like,
she has to
listen,
go.
you
She's
put
gotta
the
do that.
tutu on and the dance shoes on. That's it. Okay.
I know Bree's a big component. She's like, I want to get Sophie dance because she loves music.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Trey, what did you study in college?
I studied business management.
Okay.
And I got a degree in, so business management, but then you have like an emphasis to the degree,
Yeah.
right? So mine's entrepreneurial management specifically, which
Works out for me.
Yeah.
which really is just they're taking a few classes from each of the different emphasis and putting it into one. So you learn a little bit about marketing, a little bit about finance, kind of go over the basics of everything.
Yeah. What triggered that? Like, were you interested in starting a business someday, or like, why'd you get into that?
Yeah, I've always been pretty interested in business. Used to ask for Yu-Gi-Oh cards for gifts and then sell them in the hallway during school, stuff like that. So just like stuff like that. But yeah, I've always had an interest in business, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like when I was going into college, I felt like business was also a good opportunity in that way, because there's so much you can do with a business degree.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of my logic going into it. Sometimes I still don't know what I want to do, but I feel like it's good because you just learn a lot of really valuable information that can be applied to a lot of different things.
It's really any aspect. Yeah. No, I think it's, there's a lot of degrees that I don't think are worth getting nowadays, but I'm like, your law, doctor, and I think like a business degree, just to have like common knowledge of like business practices is valuable.
For sure. I mean, you can learn anything when it comes to business on your own, but when you go to school, it just kind of gives you a good starting point,
foundation.
And that's why I've liked even just like talking to people who own their own businesses now. They might not know something that's pretty simple when it comes to business, and it's just because they're trying to learn it on their own. Which nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But I feel like it did kind of give me a little bit of a leg up, because now as we're working through this together, I at least have maybe somewhat of an idea of what to do. Might not be great at it, but at least
I don't know what I'm doing.
So
I don't know what I'm doing.
At least he's got some foundation there. It's true. Like you can definitely skip through a lot of the pains if you have some foundational knowledge of like basic business principles and like acumen of how to run a business, whether it's from school that you can carry over into like practical situations. But because a lot of entrepreneurs do is they just start out running and gunning, and then they learn a lot of like the lessons on like how to put together a P&L and like how to read a financial statement and stuff, and then that they never knew, and until they need to know it, and they're like, oh, I need that. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I feel like it's a trade-off, just like anything else. Yeah. If you don't go to school, you're going to work and learn from the experience. And I think that's great too, because oftentimes you learn more from the experiences. If you do go to school, you'll kind of get the book stuff that helps you on the back end of things, and that's helpful as well. So I think it just depends on who you are, like what you prefer more. But
absolutely.
It was really great.
Did you guys have a game plan what you wanted to do after college?
I just wanted to teach. That was it.
Yeah.
What about you, Trey? What was your vision after college?
So while I was in college, I got an internship with the company I work at now. Okay. And so I worked for them for a year or two, I think, while I was still going to school. So I just worked full time, go to school full time. And so while I was in school, that was kind of just my goal. I just was like, I just want to work full time here. The company I work for, my entire family works for.
Oh, really?
They all work on the farm side. I'm the only one that's like on the business side.
Got it.
But yeah, so I kind of
just kind of cool.
Yeah,
if you think about it. Well,
I'm a sellout. I'm a office
he is a
guy.
sellout.
Yeah.
And so that's cool because you actually get to you're utilizing your degree. you know, and like your other family's working for the same company, but like you're actually able to utilize the degree that you went to school for and work on the different side of that company, which is cool.
It's been really great to I've been able to, you know, there's so many different aspects within business. And so working with this company, I feel like I've been able to have a few different options as to explore different things, different routes, different sides of the business, and kind of see what I like the most.
Yeah.
Which has been helpful as well.
That's awesome.
So yeah, worked there pretty much since I graduated. I did leave for a year and try something different.
What'd you try?
Come back. So did some work as a data analyst. I've always been really interested in numbers, data. I'm a numbers kind of a guy.
Yeah.
And so I went and did that for about a year. It was great. And then I came back to this company about, I don't know,
like
8 months ago, probably.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
the summer, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so, Shaneka, after you were done, you decided your teaching wasn't for you.
Yeah.
What was your game plan from there?
After that, I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew that I was good at like doing admin things. So I started working for a doctor, and I like ran his front desk and everything, did that. And then after that, I was like, okay, I can't just sit here. Like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like sitting at a desk and like greeting everybody. Like, it's fun, but like, I'm like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So then I got an opportunity for some other doctors as a marketing director.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, this is what I need to do. Like, this is me. Just being able to kind of be behind the business side of things instead of being like in front and like meeting patients. I was like, you know, doing just their behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
To promote them. And I absolutely loved it. It was
was that like
so
kind of
fun.
like running ads?
Yeah.
Graphic design stuff?
I wouldn't run their ads. We had an outside company that we outsourced it to, but I would always run the reports for the ads and make sure everything was going great.
Got it.
For the ads and stuff like that. But I mean, I learned how to do those things, which was nice. But yeah, like I just did kind of all the back end stuff on Facebook and Google My Business and stuff like that. So it was really fun. I really, really enjoyed it, and I appreciated the opportunity that they gave to me because I was just a teacher that worked for another doctor, and they're like, yeah, you could be a marketing director. I'm like, okay. I'm like, sure, I'll do it.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. So it was really awesome that they decided to like pick me for that opportunity. Yeah. I was really grateful for it.
And so how long did you do that for?
Like 2.5 years.
Okay.
And then I got pregnant.
Okay. So
then we had Stella.
Yeah. So so you went on leave for?
I went on leave for how long do you, like 3 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm going to come back. And I was like, oh, I can't leave this kid.
Yeah.
She's freaking cute and I want to eat her. So I'm not going to leave. Like, I have to stay home. I can't go back. So I stayed home and it was great. But I was like, I need something to do. And I had been sitting on this name Hype Girl for like a year and a half, like almost 2 years.
Really?
Yes. And I knew I wanted to use it. But I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can make anything out of that.
Yeah.
But I know that everybody refers me to the Hype Girl. Like, I just hype everybody up for no reason.
Yeah.
But everybody needs that in their life, right?
Yeah.
So, I kind of brought the idea to Trey, and I was like, I think I want to start a social media marketing company. What do you think? And he's like, yeah, why aren't you doing this?
Yeah.
So, and then I kind of ran the idea past like some of my friends, and they're like, yeah, like you should have been doing this a long time ago. Like, you should have quit your job and been doing this for like 3 years. And I was like, well, why didn't you guys tell me? It's like, nobody told me this.
Where was my Hype Girl?
Nobody told me this at all. Yeah, where's my Hype Girl? So anyway, I started it in June of 22.
Yeah, 22.
22.
Okay.
It was 22.
How old was Stella at that time?
Stella was like
9 months.
9 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd been home, stay at home mom essentially for 9 months. And then you decided to break off
I was
in
like,
this
I'm going to do
venture.
it. I was like, this is the right time, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, my like start date kept pushing. Like I was supposed to start at the beginning of May, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do it. And one of my friends was like, no, your start date's going to be June like 2nd. And I was like, no. And she's like, no, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's in 2 weeks. What? So I did it. I started like June 2nd or wherever or whatever time it was. And Yeah, still was 9 months.
What was your vision when you decided to start? What was your vision with it?
I don't even know. I just wanted to be somebody that any like small business owner could come to if they needed help or they felt stuck.
Got it.
Because I know with my experience, I know a lot of women own businesses. They're always like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do with marketing. I don't know what I'm doing with my branding, my logo. Like, I have no idea. Like, I just made my logo off of Canva. I hate it. Like, help me.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to be that person that they could come to, that they felt comfortable coming to kind of talk to and be like, hey, like, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think?
Yeah.
And I'm not a person that shuts down ideas. I think all ideas are great.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah.
You're the hype girl.
Yeah. Like, yeah, sure. You want to do that? Great. But yeah, so I just wanted to be a safe place for women-owned businesses as well.
Yeah, I love that.
And men too.
Yeah.
Like
no discrimination, but
no discrimination, but it's usually women that come for my services. So
that's cool. I love it. And so how did you bring Trey in? What's Trey's role in the company?
I don't know anything, okay, about that stuff.
You're like, I just wanted to start something.
I was like, I needed to start something and I need you.
Yeah. So like
basically.
So Trey, what do you handle with the company?
So yeah, Shaneka came to me with the idea, wanted to start a business, and just knew I went to school for a business. So she's like, I'm going to give you all that stuff, and I just want to do what I want to do.
The fun stuff. Hey,
the fun stuff. Yeah.
I need a partner like that.
This is usually how my conversations go. I'm like, hey, I don't want to do this part, so if you could just help me out, that'd be great.
She's like, I want to start a business, but like, how do you start a business? You figure that out and come back to me.
Yeah.
So
he's like, you pitch me what you're
Here's my idea, now go figure it out. Okay.
Like, you start a business pitch and you give it to me, so I know what to do.
And I'll see if it's good.
Yeah, right? And I'll see if I accept it.
Yeah. So from the beginning, my role always was to just handle back end things.
Okay.
When it comes to actual the creative side, it's Shaneka 100%. She's doing all of that. And then I'm here to help with, the accounting, the finances, right?
Yeah.
The business side of things, getting the business started. And
my spreadsheets.
Just her systems, just like general systems overall.
Yeah.
I'm very much a systems person.
And I'm not.
And she doesn't really enjoy that as much, which is fine. So it kind of works out because we both enjoy the different sides of the business.
Yeah. How has it been? Because you guys have been doing it for about a year or a little over a year.
Yeah.
How's it been working together on something as like a married couple? Business?
It hasn't been bad. I mean, on my part.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm probably annoying because I don't like updating my spreadsheet, but I don't care. I mean, he has to hound me and be like, hey, we got to do this. And I'm like, okay, fine. But I think it's been great. And on top of that, I bounce ideas off of him all the time too.
Yeah.
So it's not like he just does finance. It's like he's like my soundboard, which is really, really great.
Yeah.
Sometimes he doesn't agree with my ideas, and I'm just like, okay, whatever, I'm doing what I want.
Yeah.
But we still got along.
Sure, yeah. No, I think for the most part, like our worlds don't really meet very often.
Yeah.
And I think that probably helps. Like Shaneka said, she'll bounce ideas off me, or if she wants to buy something for the company, or if she wants to start offering new services, we'll sit down and we'll talk about logistics and how that should work, and pricing, and how everything should roll out. But other than that, our sides of the business are different, so really I think that helps a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys know your sandboxes that you play in, which kind of separates it out. I think that's so important. When I talk to, obviously me and Bree work together as well on the business, and a lot of people look at it and they're like, "Oh, working with your spouse looks like so much fun and it's easy," and it's like, it's not.
Like some days,
some days, and it's good if you have that separation.
Yeah.
But I think like if you're both working on something and you're both like the driver of the company, or you're both the creative design type, it's going to be a lot harder. Where it's actually kind of interesting because your guys is, Trey's taking care of the back end of the business and the systems and the finances, and you're kind of the creative design and like visionary, maybe push forward. Me and Bree kind of have a weird similar, but like I'm more the visionary and push the business forward. But I also have to do like, she hates finances and like that stuff. So then I have to do that. But she's also like systems oriented. So she loves systems and operations of things. But then she's also the creative, like the logos and the marketing. And so it's interesting to see like everybody's got their own little pools.
All over.
Yeah. But everything is still separated in the fact that like I deal with this and even though my realm is this and your realm is that. And we sometimes commingle and making decisions and being soundboarded for each other. But at the end of the day, like if it's a marketing decision, I let her make it. If it's an operations decision, I let her make it.
Right.
And if it's company decision or financial decision or something, she lets me make it. And so I think that's where it's like, you just have to have defined roles to make it really work. And it sounds like you guys kind of have that, which is great.
I think so.
No, that's been great. I think too, just the nature of her business.
Yeah.
It helps as well because it is like relatively low overhead as far as fixed costs go.
Yeah.
And so if she wants to have some creative liberties, that's not really an issue typically.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that is what she's selling, right?
Yeah.
Like she's selling the creativity.
Yep.
And so I think that's important. But yeah, I think that helps. So it's been good.
It's good that your numbers guy can see the importance of creative and marketing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of numbers people are like, what's the ROI on this marketing? And you're like, I don't know.
I kind of lucked out because let me just say, I was really nervous too when I brought this idea to him because I thought he was going to be like, I ain't putting money behind that. No, this ain't happening at all. So I was really, really nervous just because he's such a numbers guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way that he's going to be like, yeah, like you should do that. So not that I was shocked that you were like all for it, but I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like he's game. Like, let's get this going. Like handle the business side of stuff. Get my LLC. Let's do this.
Yeah. You're like, get the LLC, set up the bank account, do all that. And I'll start making the creative.
You know my social, right? Great.
That's cool. And it's cool to have obviously, I think having a supportive spouse is so important.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
100%.
if like that's something that you've wanted to do.
Yeah.
But your spouse, on the other hand, you took it to them and they're like, no, you know, I don't want to be a part of that.
I feel like we run into a lot, or I do at least. I run into a lot of women-owned business owners that, you know, they're like, oh, my husband doesn't want me to do this because it's going to take me away from the kids and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you will always find time.
Yeah.
You're always going to make time for your kids. You're always going to make time for your friends, family. Like you will always make time. But you always have to do something for yourself. 100%. And if that's running your business, if that's like fueling like your happiness, like do it. Like everything will fall into place as it should.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because that was a big thing, you know, when we had our first as well. You know, Bree was at home. She took a little bit of leave. But after about, 3-4 months, she was like, I got to get back into the business and doing something because some people find a lot of fulfillment and joy in being a mother and being a stay-at-home mom. But there's others also that they love being a mother and stuff, but they also need something else to fill that bucket. In understanding that from the other spouse in that relationship to allow your partner to say, like, I'm not going to say you have to be a stay-at-home parent.
Right.
I'm going to let you do what brings you happiness. And like, we'll figure out this side of things. I think it's so important. So it's cool that you guys, had that supportive relationship.
Oh, yeah. And I think it helps that Stella's just a daddy's girl. She wants nothing to do with me. I know you, Sophie's the same for you.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I heard him on the phone with her last night and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, she's wrapped around her finger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be dangerous when she gets older.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. No, it's been good. I mean, I do appreciate him, like, helping me with all the things I don't like to do.
Yeah.
But also, like, supporting me in any aspect of my business and being a mom as well. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. What are some of now that you guys have been doing it for a year, like what are some of the hurdles that you guys ran into starting a business that you didn't really think about up front?
Just dealing with people.
Yeah.
I hate upsetting anybody. That's like I do not want anybody unhappy. I don't want anybody unhappy with me.
Yeah.
But I had to learn like how to be basically like a people pleaser, but also set my boundaries as a people pleaser. Cause I'm like, yeah, I want to help you, but there's a certain boundary, a wall that I have to put up, where I'm not getting offended and you're not getting offended in what I say or what I do. So yeah, that's basically that's it basically.
I would say in addition to that is probably finding the balance between, because it's just the two of us, right? Yep. And really it's just Shaneka, because she's doing all of the actual work itself.
That's right.
That's like finding the balance of how many projects are too much for Shaneka to where, we don't have to bring on another person. But then if we brought on another person, it's more of, okay, well now we have another person, we have to keep that business flowing.
Yep.
So it's always been kind of a constant battle of like, sometimes it's just way crazy busy. Other times it's a little bit slower. So It's just a balancing act.
Yeah, and that's like kind of managing your overhead and your, with employees. Do you bring on another employee? Like, when is that right timing?
Yeah.
And then, getting into the people side of things, once you bring on employees, now you're like always managing somebody.
Which I'm scared. Like, I'm scared for when that happens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited. That's the goal, right? Like, I would love to have a full-on agency of virtual assistants and like social media managers and all the things. Like, I would love that, but I'm scared.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so terrified, but I know when that time comes, it's going to be good. And Trey's really like level-headed too, which helps me out a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah.
But he definitely, like, when I get into things where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm struggling with this one client. Like, I don't think we're like meeting eye to eye. What do I do? It's really nice because he's like, hey, like, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to say. And I think it'll just be the best. Like, if you either need to stop working with them or maybe you need to just take a little time off, like, I think that'll be great for you. So I think he's just really good at, being like, you just got to get to the point.
Yeah.
You can't beat around the bush. If you don't want to work with them, you don't want to work with them. If you do, you do. And that's fine. So I think he's really good at doing that.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I think maybe that helps too because I'm separated from things.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm able to look at it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I think that's probably
there's just
what it
too much
boils down
emotion
to.
for me where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to offend anybody. And
because and Bree's similar in that way. Like, you're people pleaser, and you want to make sure everybody's happy. And for you, it's like, it's kind of like your baby. Like, you want this to really.
Yeah.
Whereas Trey is like, I'm helping run it and stuff, but I can make more logical decisions because I'm not as emotionally involved. In the company.
Oh yeah.
So, which is cool. Do you guys ever like find yourself? Is it hard to separate like life outside of business? Since you guys are both in it, me and Bree often finding, we end up like every dinner we go to, we end up talking about business, and like it's hard to find that shut off of, hey, let's not talk about business and like let's be home. Have you guys dealt with anything like that?
I don't
know that we have, to be honest.
I mean,
just because I feel like we do talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's always mingled in with everything else. And so it never really feels like it's like, oh, we're talking about business again.
Yeah. Like,
at least from my perspective.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, sometimes I would like to go to places and not talk about business.
Okay. Never mind.
It's like, no, I'm the same way though. Cause like I talk about it all the time, and like it's Bree that's like, let's just not talk about it.
Right. Let's just like hang out.
I thought like that's kind of, we just same way intermingle it with everything else we talk about, right?
Which is great. Like, I love that. Like, you're so passionate about it. Like, I love it. But I mean, I think it's just when I'm on my own, I'm just like out with friends and like, we're like, oh, this logo I have. I'm like, okay, like, I just wanted to like eat my shrimp.
Yeah.
And like drink my Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Talk about friend stuff.
Yeah, I just want to talk about friend stuff. And which is fine. Like, I love hearing people's ideas and stuff like that. It's super fun. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, I just wish I was like, my brain, I just want it to be like on silent for a little bit because you got so much going on. But I mean, I love it.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like, this is your thing that you're doing all the time. Yeah. And for me, since it's not my primary job, I'm kind of in and out. So there's probably just different.
It's just fun
in that
for
way.
him.
Yeah. Then I guess that's probably, it's like you get it, you're away at your full-time job majority of the time. And so like coming home and talking about this, you're like, oh, we don't talk about it all the time. Where she's like, I've been dealing with it all day. Maybe I don't want to talk about it, right now.
Yeah.
That's how Bree is sometimes. I'll bring stuff up late at night. And she's like, can we just like watch a movie and like veg
like,
out?
Can you stop talking?
Yeah. Honestly, that's what that is sometimes. Like, I'll watch like a motivational thing at night and be like, oh, we need to do that. And she'll be like, stop.
It's like,
I'm not going to have this conversation at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So it's the joys of working with your spouse. But, is there anything that like starting out, is there anything that you guys would have done differently than you've kind of done right now?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, with my business?
Yeah.
No, I feel like, I don't know. Like, I honestly, if I wasn't running this with Trey or he wasn't helping me, I probably would have failed by now, to be honest. But like, if I started out without him, I probably would have put a lot of money into this, like try to blow it up super fast.
Yeah.
But talking to him, he's like, slow and steady. Yep. Like, let's just slow it down. Like, everything's going to be fine. So I feel like the slow pace that I'm going and kind of like, seeing my progress and my growth has been really, really good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm good where I'm at.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I think Shaneka's just being nice.
Yeah.
Because
I'm always nice,
the face
first
of
of
it,
all.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm always
so
nice.
she is the one at the end of the day that is bringing in all the business herself. So
Yeah.
I don't think that it would have failed necessarily, but I do think, like, from a systems perspective, I definitely think that there are things we could have dialed in a little bit better.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But in the same sense, it's like until you go through it,
Yep.
you don't really know.
Yeah.
So I think we just did the best we could.
That's a good
and we're
answer. See, I'm not a
working
systems
through it.
person. I was like, yeah, whatever.
Like, everything's been great. He's like,
Everything's
well,
been fine.
the
He's
back
like-
end, we've been, no,
Yeah,
and that's usually how it is. And you're right though. Like entrepreneurs, some entrepreneurs want to try to figure out everything up front, but it's like, you're not going to know that system or that thing isn't going to work properly until you just go.
Yeah.
So you need that yin and the yang of somebody that's just going to go and do business and somebody on the back end that's going to kind of like fix things as they're happening to make sure that things start running smoothly.
Yeah.
And so like for those people out there that are thinking about starting a business or want to get going, it's like, one, don't think too much about it. Like, yes, think about it, but like start doing it and you're going to learn what systems you need as problems start coming up.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And then you're going to take things as a learning lesson, you know,
For
and
sure.
fix them. So
Oh, yeah.
what's kind of what's your vision? Where do you want this to be in the next 2-3 years?
Oh, I don't know. I want all the things, honestly, if I had it my way. I definitely want to start maybe adding in employees and getting some more photographers.
Yeah.
I just work with 2 photographers right now, which is great for, our volume of, brand photo shoots that we do. So it's great. I do want to start doing more photo shoots and start gaining more clients, but I also just want to have a team.
Yeah.
It's kind of lonely over here sometimes.
That brings up a very valid, like, entrepreneurship is lonely.
Yeah, it is. And not that I like feel alone, but like sometimes like when I'm in the office, while Stella's like napping, I'm like, dang, like I wish I like had somebody here that I could be like, oh my gosh, I'm working on this new project with this new client. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It'd be really nice. But I tell Trey, he's excited, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
'Cause he's like, well, how much money are you making?
She's like,
We have
that's
to update
not
the
the point.
spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, sir.
Yeah.
That's not what we're doing.
That's funny.
So.
That's how, Bree's the same way.
Yeah.
Be like, what's the cost of that? She's like, doesn't matter. It does, but
don't worry about it.
that's in. What's your kind of? So I know you guys have done like brand photo shoots. I've seen some of your stuff on Instagram and it looks phenomenal. Like you guys do a great job.
Thanks.
What's kind of your core things that you focus on with your clients right now?
So I actually started I was doing social media marketing, but I'm transitioning into just branding.
Okay.
I just have more fun with the branding side.
Let's like for the viewers, what's the difference between like branding and social media marketing?
So
because some people would just connect that.
Right. Yeah. 100%. So with the social media marketing side, I plan out your social media. I plan out what you post, what you should be posting on your stories, like everything and all the analytics side of your Instagram or your Facebook. I do all of that.
Okay.
The branding side is just the fun side where you just get to design everything.
Yeah.
And telling the client like, hey, I think this is the vision you're thinking of. Let me know what you think. And if I get it right, like, heck yeah. Like, I'm all about that. But yeah, like the branding side of stuff is just so fun. I love seeing people, kind of come out into their business, like their personality in their business. That's so important. And, just to see that and their growth through that, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's just with like one brand photo shoot sometimes. Like I'll have like people come in, they're like so shy, but at the end of it, they're like, oh, is it done? I'm like, yeah, it's done. But like, if you want to book another one, let's do it. Let's do another one. So it's the branding side is just the funnest side of it all.
And that's kind of the creative side of like, figuring out what that company's or person's brand is, and then how do you tell that brand story?
Yeah, the brand
through
voice,
photos and video, and that's so cool.
Yeah, it's super fun. I really just enjoy that aspect of it.
So when a company comes in, like what do most companies you see struggle with on their brand? Or do like
the cohesiveness, like everything's all over the place. They don't have like they have colors.
Yeah.
But the colors don't mesh.
Yeah.
Or like they have like some kind of inspo they're going for, but they're not quite reaching it there yet. So just having everything be cohesive. So people come to your page and be like, oh, I know who this is really nice. Like even with my page, like my brand colors are pretty generic.
Yeah.
They're tan, pink, and white.
Uh-huh.
But I love those colors so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But people know when they come to my page, like it's kind of crazy. Like my Insta page is like all over the place, but it's still cohesive.
Yeah.
And it still matches everything.
Yeah.
So ideally that's what you want. You want people to be like, oh, I see that blue. Like I know who this is. Like I know what's going on here. So I don't know. I just love the aspect of everything looking cohesive.
Yeah. Which is important. My Instagram looks not cohesive whatsoever.
It looks great. You're doing great.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing a
hype
great
girl
job.
right there. Just hyping me up.
Oh, yeah, you're doing
even
a
though
great
I'm
job.
doing a terrible job probably. But I think it is so important because you're right. Like when somebody goes and they see if you're posting on social media consistently and they can rely on like those brand colors or that color palette that you have, and they're going to recognize you. And then what that does subconsciously to them to like just see something and like, oh, and then they start to develop like a thought about you and your brand.
Oh yeah.
That's what you want. You want market share in their mind about your brand and your company. It's like, you think about like the golden arches. If you ever see the golden arches, you like automatically have a thought about that brand.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so how do most companies just don't, and from a real estate perspective too, I mean, a lot of realtors don't understand brand or anything.
Yeah.
But a lot of companies don't understand the difference of brand and like marketing. It's like, there's some marketing that you're doing that's brand related that you can't necessarily track an ROI on because it's a brand play. But like most companies won't spend money on marketing unless they can track some kind of ROI.
Yep.
And so it's so hard. Has it been hard for you to kind of like justify or get people to come in for brand photo shoots? Because a lot of people just maybe don't see the importance of a brand as much.
Oh yeah. I had one lady actually ask me, what did she say? I was so offended. I can't remember what she said to me, but what did she say? Why am I blanking? I don't know. She said something that offended me. I was like, oh girl. Because she basically was like, well, what's the point of you doing this? Like, what is the point of it? And I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
I was like, have you not seen what we've done? Like, do you not see what we're trying to do? So that kind of like hurt me a little bit, but I was like, they just don't get it. And that's okay. If you don't get it, and you don't understand it, that's fine. Like, whatever. So yeah, sometimes it's a little hard to like be like, hey, like you need this. Like, I don't think you know that you need this, but you do. Like, you really need it.
Yeah.
I think something that helps with that too is with like the photo shoots, you're kind of able to not disguise it as, but like frame it as like, oh, well, you're getting content out of this.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And so like, yeah, they're getting content, but then her job is to make sure that that content is cohesive with the brand that they've already established or with the brand that she's helping them establish. So I think that's kind of a selling point as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Is there a certain type of business that you like to focus on? Or do you just focus on any kind of business?
Any kind.
Okay.
Like I'm here for anything.
Yeah.
Anything with an idea.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Sweet.
I'm so here for it. Unless you're trying to be a drug dealer, I cannot help you with that.
Like, I mean, I've got some good brand ideas.
I could work it out, but I prefer not to.
Compensation's gonna have to be cash under the table.
Exactly.
No, that's funny. I mean, because I do think, there's a wide variety of businesses that all need brand help.
Yeah.
So I just don't know if you were like focused on a certain target audience.
No, honestly, like I'm for any branding. Most of my clients that come to me are like, I want crazy, like just in your face stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, for sure. Like I can do that. Or like just bright colors. I'm all for that. But I can be soft. I can do it all. But I will say like the ones that are like kind of like, I want to be crazy. I want everything. I'm all game for that.
Yeah.
Just extra. Yeah.
They perform a little bit better because
yeah,
you look at like the brands that are very like in your face, noticeable, tend to get a lot more traction than the like silent brand that's kind of creeping up. I look at like, have you heard of Bird Dogs? Or
I think so.
They were on like Shark Tank, but they were like, they have a very aggressive brand. Like some of their marketing will be very like at you in your face, like somewhat offensive.
Yeah.
But it's good. It gets good traction. Yeah. It's like it catches the eye. So but I think a lot of people, I think what you're doing is so cool because you're helping business owners kind of break out of their shell.
Yeah.
And try to be more loud and be more aggressive on their brand to help them get traction.
Yeah. I mean, kind of don't have a choice with me yet. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
right.
if you're in it, you're in it.
Yeah.
There's no going back.
If you want this to work, we're going to make it work.
Like, yeah. Like you're just kind of stuck. So, I mean, if that's not what you're looking for, I'm going to make you do it anyway.
I love that. What is so like, what do your packages kind of look like? Is it usually they just do one-time shoots? Do people usually like sign contracts for a certain period of time for you to help them with, or what is it that you guys offer?
Some of my packages, I have one package that's like a 3-month package.
Okay.
Like I have to change it up now because I'm not really doing social media anymore.
Yeah.
But that package was like, okay, I give you 5 graphics each month. That's what you get, and that's what you post. Here are your stories and things like that. So that's for the business owner that's like, I just started my business. I don't know what's going on. Like, help me.
Yeah.
So with that, they get a logo, they get a mini brand photo shoot, and then they get content. Like they get graphics and stuff. So for that 3 months, I'm like kind of holding your hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like you can either continue or do your thing. And usually they're like, I feel confident, I'm good.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, great, that's what I want.
Yeah.
And then my occurring clients, that's like the highest package. They get brand photo shoots. I take care of their Instagram and TikTok, anything that they need. That's a pretty customizable package.
Okay.
Anything that you need, I'll just handle it for you.
Got it. And you do that like on a recurring monthly basis with those clients. Sweet. And so you're taking social media out of it. Did you just not find the joy in doing that, or what? Why taking it out?
I realized when I was doing social media, I wasn't doing my own. And so how am I supposed to promote myself too? So I like was having like a hard time. And I wasn't enjoying doing my own social media. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is really bad. So hopefully, like, I mean, eventually maybe I'll go back to it, but I'm just like, for right now, I'm like, I think I need to focus on, you know, design side of things to kind of promote myself and like branding myself and showcasing what I can do for myself. So people will come to me.
Yeah. It's actually, I'm glad you said that and you're doing that, because there are a lot of people out there that like market themselves as like a marketing, you know, I get these are spam messages, but I get messages all the time on Instagram. Like, we'll help you gain followers. And then you click on their profile and they're like, social media marketing expert. And I'm like, you got like 300 followers.
Like,
what do you mean?
Calm down.
But, and I think that's a hard dilemma, because it's not that I don't think you have to have a ton of followers to be like viral to say that you're a social media marketing person. And so like, but I feel like that's a dilemma that a lot of social media agencies deal with, is like, how do we say we're this, but like maybe we don't have as many followers as we think we need to have. You know, because I don't think you need to have a crazy amount of followers.
No. Like,
as long
I
as
feel
your
like
marketing is good.
if your marketing is great and, you know, you're promoting yourself the way you should, or, you know, the way you want to, and people are seeing that, like, that's awesome. But totally agree with that. Because that's the thing. I'm like, I never wanted people to be like, you got 900 followers. Yeah. And you're trying to grow me. Yeah. I got more followers than you. And I'm like, okay. So I never wanted that to happen. But I also just see like, when you get your branding together for your, you know, business, I feel like your business grows in that as well. So I don't know. I'll probably eventually go back to social media, but I'm like, I need to take a break, because I'm like, I got to work on my own social media for a little bit.
Which, no, I've heard of other social media like managers that are the same way. They're like, they get into it and then they start growing and like, well, I feel like I need to start doing some of my own stuff to really pick up traction. But then I also see the other people that they have that dilemma, and then they just go like buy a bunch of followers, and all of a sudden they have like 20,000 followers, and I'm like,
well, just yesterday,
you
had 200.
So like, don't go that route. What were you gonna say, Trey? I know you.
I think another part of it too is a lot of her demographic. They just want to run their social media themselves. So like, after she's got it up and running, got all of their branding guidelines for them and everything set, they kind of just feel more confident to take that part on
which is awesome. I think that's awesome. So that they can learn to do that by themselves, because that's like the hardest thing sometimes. Is just learning how to do your own social media. Yeah.
And it's like, if you're just providing that foundation for them to really take it off. And I think, I mean, social media, I love what you're doing too, because like, social media is such an important aspect of every bit. Like, it was important a few years ago, but now it's like, if you're not on social media,
it's a problem.
Like, what kind of business are you really running? You know, if I look up, we do like local spotlights, and I look it up, and like, some of these businesses don't even have a website. I'm like, yo, it's 2023. I
Like,
need to be able
what's
to go onto your
going on?
website,
Yeah,
be able to like
yeah.
click like about you to kind of figure out like the history of your company. Like, because when sometimes in the spotlights, we want to like say like, this company's been around for this long. And I'm like, I can't even find a website.
Like, I
How
don't
am I
even
supposed to
know,
share anything
like,
about this company?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think in today's day and age, everybody Googles stuff, and then they're going to, and if they're not Googling, like even real estate agents, like people look you up on social media, they're going to look at your social media and see like, who is Shaneka?
Yeah.
Like, why should I work with her?
Right.
You know? So I think it's so important to build out that brand strategy and have a social media marketing plan for your company.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So
it's so important.
How many companies do you work with right now?
It's kind of all over the place. I kind of took a little break.
Yeah.
But right now I'm just taking on one-time clients.
Okay.
Just so I can, be more confident in my social media.
Yeah.
I mean, I had, before the summer started, I had like 3 to 4 clients that I was working on. And that was my limit. I was like, okay, I have to cut it off at that or I'm going to go crazy.
For sure.
And then like summer hit and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm not spending enough time with Stella. So then I was like, okay, we're cutting off these 3 clients. Like, I'm going to take on this one client because she needs me the most. So I was working on her stuff, but I was still taking like little projects on. So I'm getting back into the swing of things now with the fall coming, and people are wanting branding and all the things. So I'm just taking one-time situations right now.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like recurring.
Yes,
like
recurring month
to
to
month.
month. Yeah.
Obviously, there's like
brand photo shoots.
Yes,
photo
yeah.
shoots and logo design and stuff like that are in there.
Yeah.
But month to month
clients.
different.
But so I'm just like starting to find my momentum of like, what can I handle more?
Yeah.
Or what's the in between where I'm not gonna like rip my weave out or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, and how has it been juggling motherhood and running a business?
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard because I feel like sometimes I'm missing a lot of moments, but I'm not. Like, I know I'm not, but it just feels that way.
Yeah.
But I literally try to include her in everything that I do. So she has a little laptop.
Aww.
So she'll like come do her work with me, some things like that. But I definitely like, my routine is in the morning, I spend all my time with Stella. Yeah. Like, that's what I do. Like, it's all about her. She goes down for a nap. I get as much work done as I need, like, for the day.
Yeah.
And then when she wakes up, all my time is to her. Like, I don't want her to ever be like, oh, like, mom didn't play with me. I know she's just 2, but I don't know. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
So, whenever she's awake, all my time is spent with her. And then, like, Trey comes home around, like, 4:15, and he hangs out with her. So then I can get a little bit of things done after he gets home. Or, we spend time with each other when he gets home. And then after she goes to bed, we're in the office together working. Yeah. So, I just try to just make sure that she knows that I'm there for her at all times. Yeah. I don't know. I always have this, like, you see those like movies, the Disney movies where like the mom's busy working and the kid's like, Mom, like, come play with me. And she's like, not right now. Like, I'm doing this. Yeah. So I like never want to be that mom. Like, and we actually watched a movie the other day. Have you seen Coraline? First of all, it's the creepiest Disney movie I've ever seen in my freaking entire life. Like, it's terrible.
So don't watch it.
I mean, it's pretty good. It's a good Halloween movie, but I was like, do not let your kid. I mean, I don't know. I had a lot of nightmares as a kid. But anyway, there was a one scene that, the mom's working and the dad's working, and she goes to the mom and she's like, Mom, like, I want to go do this. And the mom's like, I'm busy. And then she goes to the dad and he does the same thing basically. So I never want Stella to feel like she's like a burden and I'm like trying to be like, hey, I'm trying to do something else. Like, just go play with your toys. Yeah. I never want that to be a thing. Yeah.
Which I think is a lot of mothers have that dilemma when especially when they're trying to like run a business or also work on the side. Yeah. It's like they have that, I don't want to say guilt.
It's guilt. No, it's guilt. No, you're right. It's
they
guilt.
have that motherly guilt of like, am I providing the best childhood for my kids? They feel like I'm there for them.
Doing enough. Yeah. Yeah. All the things.
And I think there's that balance where as long as you're doing it the right way, and it's like you are creating some balance where Bree's really good at, we have a nanny that comes a few days a week and she'll come to the office, but like when she leaves the office at 3 or 4 and she's home, like she's home.
Yeah.
Tell Sophia's in bed.
Yep.
She's not on her phone.
Yep.
She's like with her.
Yep.
And so I think it's like, if you can find that balance,
it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Then it works. And I don't think, I mean, I grew up with my parents worked a lot. But it was never one, I think showing them that you're working is also a good thing to like, hey, I want to be like my mom one day and work and do that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's finding that balance that works for you.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of women don't do things because they have
of
that guilt like overruns them.
100%. But and like that's going back to being like do something that you love. Like, you know what I mean? In those little moments that like she's down for a nap or like she's like with Trey out and about, like do something that you love for yourself. Cause I mean, I feel like mom guilt will never go away.
No.
It's just a thing.
Yeah.
And like, I don't, Trey probably gets dad guilt. There's probably
There's
dad guilt too.
guilt. Yeah.
There's totally dad guilt too. I'm not like, but anyway, like that's never going to go away. But just, Trey actually said this to me the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm doing like a terrible job. And he's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like there's something like I'm not doing right to fulfill like Stella's needs. And he's like, the fact that you're even thinking that way means you're a good mom. Like, you're fine. Yeah. So I was like, oh, like I didn't even think of it that way. Like, you're already doing a great job and you don't even know it. Yeah. So.
What a good husband. That's a good way to phrase it.
I'm like giving you all the compliments today. Oh my gosh.
No, but dad guilt is a real thing too. Like dad guilt, when I like leave in the mornings for work and like she'll come like crawling after me and like start whining. I'm like, oh,
like I'll just take you. It's
fine. I want to, but I'm also, it's hard from a male perspective of like, because innately we're providers and we want to provide for the family and do that. And it's like, you need to go do that. But then you also see that little girl in his backyard. She's like, I just want to stay here and hang out with you all day, but I can't because I've also got to go do this. But and I think you just have to, I don't think it's ever going to go away.
No, like it's just a thing, but you're being a good parent. That's awesome.
Yeah. You care about your children.
Exactly. You care about your kid. That's
you care about your kid, but you also can't let that overtake you.
Yeah.
Because what is your alternative? You have to, you need resources to live on and you need to go get those resources by working.
You got to get that money.
Yeah. 100%. You got to get that money so that your kids don't go hungry. But I think some people like we've got a really soft society. I feel like nowadays.
Oh yeah.
In that notation, like that, they want to like, I want to stay home with the kids. It's like even males at this point are like, you see stay-at-home dads.
He jokes about being a stay-at-home dad all the time.
Yeah. It's like,
I'm like, that ain't happening.
Like it would be so nice.
It would.
But I think like some people look at it and like, I don't want to, I think a lot of people had parents that worked a lot when they were growing up. And I think if you look back like 50 years ago, like that was just always normal.
Right.
And then I think in the last 20 years, we've come to this connotation people have come to the conclusion, like, I don't want to be like my parents and work like that. It's like, I understand that, but also like, what is your solution?
Yeah.
Because
what else are you going to do?
Yeah. Are you just going to stay at home and like hope that the government pays for your meals and stuff? Like, as much as you love your kids, you have an obligation to go like provide for your kids too, male or female. Like, gender. I'm not saying it. One needs to do it and one doesn't. But like, as much as I would love to stay at home with my daughter, that's like not. It's just not an option.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, for sure.
It's like
it's a constant balancing act.
Yeah.
On both parts, and it's always going to be. And that's what I mean. With our daughter, we're always, and with like both of our schedules, we're always just
all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah. Sometimes I'll be home with her. Sometimes you'll be home with her.
Which I think that's good though. I like that she gets like one-on-one time.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, she loves Trey more than me.
That's
a different.
I doubt it, but like
no, I'm not. I have to put her down before he comes home for lunch because if she's up, like she'll just cry when he leaves.
Aww.
No.
She's like, don't be sad about that. Yeah.
No, but it's cute. I love it. But yeah, like I love that she gets the one-on-one time with both of us. Yeah. Just so like I don't know. I just think it's fun. I think it's fun that she gets both of us just in our element. Like, like we're just there with her. So I think that's always fun.
No, that's cool. Yeah. What any big plans you guys have coming up with the company? Anything?
I just got a studio.
Oh, okay. Where's it at?
It's over by, I don't even know. I'm so terrible. It's on Holmes.
Yeah, breed bad directions.
Her and I talked about this.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like directionally like it's not there.
Challenge.
Oh my, challenge. Yeah, it's bad. It's so bad. She's like, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And I was like, I still put my maps on to get to this office.
I'll say like east, west side of town. She's like, what's it by? Starbucks? Okay. I know where that's at.
I'm like, once you start throwing south and east at me, I'm like, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Did you mean left or right?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? But yeah, it's on Holmes. It's behind Fred Meyer's.
Okay.
And we're starting to get it together. I'm really
Awesome.
excited.
Is it going to be so like studio for like your brand shoots and all that stuff?
So it's gonna be a mini lounge. It's a little room,
Okay.
but it's gonna be perfect for what we're doing. So
Awesome.
I'm really excited. It'll
That
be
when
good.
do you plan to have it opened?
Oh, I don't know.
She's like, don't give me a deadline.
Like,
I was gonna shout it out.
Anthony. I'm hoping like probably by the end of November.
Okay.
If everything goes, if all the decor goes to how I'm imagining it,
Yeah.
the end of November, beginning of December.
Sweet.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So, and are you planning? You want to take on new clients?
Yes,
Okay.
I would love to.
So if people are looking for somebody to help with social media,
I am so for it.
branding, content, definitely reach
real
out to
estate
you.
agents come to me. I've
Real
worked with real
estate
estate agents before.
Yeah.
I've made logos for them before
Heck
too.
yeah.
So
Sweet.
and their branding.
Cool.
So
I love
need
it.
me. I got you.
Where can people find you? Hype Girl.
Hype Girl Studios
Okay. On Instagram.
on Insta.
Okay.
I'm just on Insta, and I got a website too. Actually,
Yeah.
It's just hypegirlstudios.com.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it. Appreciate you guys
Thank
coming on,
you.
sharing your story.
Thank you.
If you guys are looking for somebody to help with content, help with your brand, Hype Girl Studios on Instagram, reach out to her. Shaneka does an awesome job.
Thank you.
So, again, appreciate you guys
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on.
much for having us.
Catch you guys next time.
Don't listen to people who lose or you'll do the same. Stop talking to people who don't give a what you saying. Stop spending your money on weed, go hop on a plane. Stop pointing the finger and start taking some of the blame. Let me put you on game. Control your emotions, most of the time it's really not worth it. Don't be ashamed and beat yourself up for not being perfect.